Always a bit more buzz with the cat in the pack. Tiger Woods looking to build off a 4-under 67 on Saturday, a round in which he bettered all but two competitors in the field in his requisite Sunday red, and what a sight to see. Here at the par 5 first, he's made a couple circles there already this week from 42 yards, leaves himself 13 feet of work for a opening birdie, and he'd roll it true. Woods to the bottom of the cup. 1 under for his round, 4 under for the tournament. So an eagle and 2 birdies there at the gettable first hole. Plays it in 4 under throughout the week. Ahead of the par 4 fifth, issues mounting. That push miss with the putter lingering all week. First bogey of the day, not his last. Here at the 6th, after a wonderful iron in 7 feet for birdie, a wasted opportunity. It would be a par. Definitely wants that one back. And then at the par 4 8th, Tiger dealing with some grain there and just sort of stubs it. Would settle for a bogey there at number 8. So 1 over for the day, 2 under for the tournament. And then the driver getting loose at number 9, the par 4. Going to find the fairway bunker and be up close to the face of it. Has to lay up from there. Unable to get up and down. Would settle for another bogey. Falls to 2 over through 9. And then at the par 4 12th, more chipping issues from the rough. Another bogey, his 4th of the day. But Woods not without his moments coming home. Here at the 13th, from 30 feet, tracking. Let me hear ya. There's a bounce back and a baby fist pump for those on hand. Tiger to 1 under for the tournament. Then after bogeying number 15, here at the par 3 16th, only a handful of birdies to this pin on Sunday, and one of them belongs to Tiger Woods. 5 feet, and he would make that one as well for another circle on the card to get back to 1 under for the tournament. And then a moment in the sun heading up 18. 3 feet for par at the last, and the roars washed over him. Your tournament host, the 15-time major champion Tiger Woods, shoots a 2 over 73 in round 4, finishes his first full tournament since the 2022 Masters. 1 under for the week. The man in red. For more on a week complete for Tiger Woods, we say hello to CBS senior golf writer Kyle Porter. KP, he goes the full 72. The last 18 that is, did appear to be a bit of a labor. It's a 2 over 73 here on Sunday. Assess what you saw between shots first and foremost this week from Woods, the physical, the mental, not just the shot making.
Yeah, I thought the physical and mental were better than last year, certainly. I mean, you look back at what he did last year, he only plays, a total of 9 rounds. His only 4-round tournament came at the Masters, where he made the cut and finished the last 2 rounds, withdrew from the PGA Championship, and then didn't make the cut at the Open Championship at St. Andrews. And he got around better, I think, at Riviera than he did at really any of those tournaments. I mean, Joe, he's using his driver as a cane at Augusta National at the Masters last year, and he's not doing that anymore. Now, does the foot and leg and everything that's going on, does it get a lot better from here? I don't know about that, but I do think it's encouraging that he got through 4 rounds relatively unscathed. I know that's probably not how he's going to feel in the ice bath later tonight, but from my perspective and from our perspective, I thought it was actually a pretty successful week physically from Tiger Woods.
Yeah, by all estimations, a step in the right direction here. We did see bogey streaks over the last year and a half where it starts to go left and he lets go of that rope. He did not here, making a couple birdies on the back and keeping this one somewhere around par there. Par 71, he comes in at 73. When it does come to the actual shot making, KP, the big cat, I think he opened some eyes here. You know, there's speed still in that golf swing and still some world-class touch around the greens. Were you surprised by Tiger's ability to move the ball the way he did?
Yeah, I think speed off the tee and then his iron play at times was pretty sharp. And I think the surprising part about that, Joe, is his swing is not. I mean, you know, CBS we keep showing this video of him from when he was 16, 17 years old. And you look at that move and you kind of think like, man, that is just the greatest move I've ever seen. And it's a little bit the opposite of that now. It's more of an old man move where it's kind of difficult to look at. It's not the prettiest thing, but his shot making, Joe, is still, I mean, given the swing, given his age, given his back, given his leg, it's still incredibly impressive, I think. And I think the problem for him, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a second, is how do you maintain a consistency if your body will not allow you to practice in between now and Bay Hill, between now and the Players, between now and the Masters? It's just really hard for him to maintain any level of consistency, I think, with a body that doesn't allow him to kind of get shots in and work on the things that he needs to work on going into those tournaments.
And not just get shots in, but be on his feet that is, and hit the putts that he needs to feel comfortable over those 5-10 footers that we saw him struggle with. He gave us a peek behind the curtain there, saying Joe LaCava got him out on the putting green early on Saturday, and maybe we saw the result of that. But no doubt fun to watch him hit that bullet cut out there. He said if it's dry and he can cut it and run it, he can go out there and hit with these guys. And we hope to see him out there with these guys more often. Let's say competent but not competitive, maybe a way to characterize it. There's going to be plenty of speculation following this most recent sample size, KP. From your point of view, did your perception of Tiger change over these last 4 days relative to his current purpose on the PGA Tour?
That's a great question. I think competent but not competitive is a good way to kind of describe what Tiger did this week. Joe, I wrote something on CBSSports.com on Tuesday that kind of, I don't know if it predicted. I think what Tiger did over these last 4 days fulfilled kind of what I was writing in a way that I couldn't have anticipated. And what I wrote and what I still believe is that we're going to see glimpses of the old cat, right? Like
right
you
here.
see this shot right here on number one, where he hits this kind of low cutting bullet from 191 to about 18 inches for a 3 there on a par 5. I guess that's longer than 18 inches, but still makes eagle there, nearly makes an albatross. And there's going to be moments like that, and there's going to be moments that Joe will compel us to think, hey, Tiger could win the Masters, Tiger could win the Players. But again, I go back to he's not getting the work that he wants to get in between tournaments to stay consistent, to knock the rust off, to stay sharp because of his physical debilitation right now. He just can't do it. And he's said that a bunch. He's talked about it a lot. I don't think that's any big secret. And so we're also going to get a peek into the future, a future in which Tiger is 55 and can barely swing a golf club. So we're kind of in this in-between right now that I think is so fascinating, so compelling, such a weird place for an all-timer to be. And I think it's going to be a really interesting, hey, some days it's 67, some days it's 75, and we don't really know. I don't know if he really knows what to expect from day to day.
Well, you're looking at 55. So are the odds makers. That's the number set by our friends at Caesars. Odds to win the Masters, currently 55-1. They do have to price in a little protection there, we must add. We learned some things about Tiger Woods here over these last 4 days. It's a thankless task to try and get between his ears, but do you think Tiger learned anything about his game over these last 4 days?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I think Tiger, I think he's going to be encouraged. I haven't heard him talk yet. He's probably talking right now, but I think he's going to be encouraged just by finishing 72 holes. And that sounds absurd because we're talking about a grown man walking on a golf course, which is not the most difficult thing in the world. But for him, it's not a small thing. I mean, he did that, once last year at Augusta National. And again, he was using his driver as a cane on Saturday or Friday or whenever that was. So I think he will be encouraged by the fact that, hey, I was able to walk 72 holes. I was able to complete this golf tournament and be relatively competitive at moments throughout. So I don't know if that's something he learned. I think it was a little bit of affirmation for whatever he's going to try to do this year, presumably play the 4 majors and 1 or 2 other stops like he said he wanted to do in the past.
Yeah, maybe you cherry pick those high points, the high point being Saturday where only 2 players had better scores than him on the golf course. So the big cat still got a little bite. You sort of allude to it there. He sprung this one on us on short notice. We were sitting next to each other in Phoenix when we got the notification, and Tiger's playing at Riv next week. Maybe that's how this is going to go, but we're going to try and sort through the tea leaves to figure out where and when we might see him again. Thursday at Augusta, just 46 days away. API and Players, as you mentioned, both going off between now and then. Do you expect to see Tiger tee it up again before Augusta?
I actually do. And I certainly wouldn't have said that 3 or 4 weeks ago. I probably wouldn't even have said it last week. But I actually think, sorry, John Rahm's throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum right now. But I actually think that we're going to see Tiger Woods again before Augusta. I definitely think we are going to see him at Augusta. I think that's almost without a doubt. I mean, unless something physically happens between now and then. I'm going to go ahead and predict that he plays the Players' Championship. I don't know if that will happen. I think Bay Hill's a little bit too soon. The Players is kind of in that that sweet spot of it's 3 weeks out, it's 4 weeks before Augusta National. That's a really good spot, at least timeline-wise, for Tiger to tee it up again. And he didn't dissuade this from happening on Saturday. He was asked about it, and he kind of said he didn't know. He deferred a little bit, but he certainly didn't shut it down, which for Tiger at this point in his career is tantamount to saying, like, hey, I want to, but, we'll see how the body reacts over the next few weeks. So I think he tees it up again. I'm going to guess the players, but it could be, Bay Hill. It could be somewhere else before Augusta National in April.
For the last 15 years, we've wrestled with the question of whether or not Tiger Woods is back or not. Define it how you want. It was great to have him back for 4 days here at Riv. KP, we appreciate your insights as always. Taking a look at some more numbers around Tiger Woods and his finish here at the Genesis, our tournament host. 1 under for the week. This marks his first 72-hole event. He finished under par since the 2020 Masters. And here's a look at those most recent finishes since 2020, the start of last season, the Masters. 13 over, WD at the PGA Championship, missed the cut at the Open Championship. So steps in the right direction for the 15-time major champion as Tiger Woods finishes at Riv 1 under for the week.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.